Well, 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 good evening. Good evening. It's Bishop Wayne and Lady Christine here on the air, Monday Night Live once again. It's been a while, and but we love you all. We've been out here trying to put things together, and we thank you for your continued support and prayers. And we thank you for those that are saying, "Where y'all at, Bishop? Where you at, First Lady?" We are here tonight. So we asked you to, as you're joining, share with us, share with someone else that we're here on the air. We're going to talk about the subject matter to have and to hold. I know you're trying to figure out where we're going with that. We're going to talk tonight about to have and to hold marriage relationships, building relationships, and how we keep them strong. So if you're on the air and you're sitting here watching us, share with somebody else that we're out. Share the broadcast. Tell them that we're out here on the air. Some of you are watching us on TV. Some of us are watching on YouTube. Share the YouTube link with somebody else. Let them know that we're here. If you're out and about, you can watch us on our website as well. Let's get our words together. And that is pofgbn@gmail.com and pogbn.net. All right. pogbn.com, .net, .org, and pofgbn@gmail.com is our email. So we have lots of things to share with you tonight. We know that most of us are preparing for our time with family, and we hope that you all are getting excited about your time with family and that you're all together, that there's no one that is suffering in any way. These are the times that we all need to take and just appreciate the fact that we have family and let each other know why we're grateful and thankful for each of them being in our lives. Bishop?
Thank you, First Lady. Thank again always for everybody tuning in and helping us do what we love to do best, and help people to change their life.
Yes.
Help people to change to where they're going and what they want to do. So we're excited. Always we come on this Monday Live and we talk real matters. You know, it's nothing that I always say that we're not rehearsed. We're not trying to put together. We're not trying to build an audience to raise money. We're not trying to do an audience for fame.
Right.
But we're here to make sure we stay on the course that God is leading us to be on. And there are so many things that we can talk about. There are so many things that we could do.
Right.
But sometimes you could be out the will or be out the covenants and the plan that God had for you. And so we want to make sure that every moment, every second, every times that we have on this earth will be in a place that is counted for. It's a service that is done right. You know, everyone that you might call when you go to the hospital, the police, or even the stores, everyone have service. That in them service, you go to be served or to get help. And so tonight, we want to bring this service to you. We want to give you something that can better your life, to be able to be appreciative, to do what you can do.
Right.
And to do it, it have to have, number one, and I always talk about this, you follow us, you that's been a part of our ministry, you are part of our investment things that we're doing. This is something I'm going to give you that me and Freddie going to give you, that we work on every day. You must have a plan. You must seek out the things that you want. So we're talking about having and to hold. And this is a subject that we all need to know about. But we're going to spin it on a way that pull some real things out that since me and First Lady been married, and some things that me and First Lady have done that kept us together to make the relationship even more blessing, yes, or made it more helpful. There are so many avenues that we can go in when you talk about this. It's so many things you can build from where there's a relationship been broken, where the relationship is no trust, where it's a relationship, there's no fun into it. It's a relationship where it's dead. You know what I mean? It started out when we said better for worse, richer or poor. You know what I mean? And we all say, I do. You know what I mean? And at that moment, you said you do because you were realizing, you know, this is something I might really want. But 6 months later, issues or things came to give you that thought, like, okay, I know why I said I do. I know I wanted to be married. I know I wanted a spouse, but I didn't know that this was all going to come with it. So how do you deal with this and still survive?
Right.
You know what I mean? We've been to all those points.
Right.
Where people asked us, you know, I'm gonna say this. This is why I'm saying it in this way. I'm gonna say that me and my wife, 90%, we do everything together. We do ministry together. We do business together. We do family things together. Our personal life is not too much because we was compatible for each other from the beginning. It was nothing that we had chance to out our lives and figure out, okay, this is what I want. This is what I need. But if you have something that is, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it was a moment of the individual telling you they love you, but give me time to deal with some issues. The only thing you have to hold on to is the point they say they love you. So all the crazy stuff that's going on, you got to go back to the point that you can say, you know what? They told me give them time.
Right.
They told me don't give up. They told me if I can hold on, and what I'm holding on is the one point they gave you was the part they say they love you.
Right.
So you take that part and you build on the love part. You find things out in the, I don't care if it's in, and further you can chime in, you know, because we normally, I will minister for a while and she'll come on. But when you talk about this, I don't want us both to lose our thoughts because there's a lot of things that we can talk about in this part of marriage,
right? Because
we have seen it happen so much. So it's we can do it from the church side, we can do it from the business side, we can do it from a family side,
right?
Because we both are in it. You know, every day we in it. You know, some people say, well, don't you ever get bored? Don't y'all ever get want to be apart from each other? I hope that we both can be real to you,
right?
That our lives, that we have some moments that they're not bad, but there's some things that we both don't agree on.
Right.
We don't. There's some things that she get mad at, I get mad at her. You know what I mean? But you learn how to find the ground,
right?
And then you build on that. You don't just find a hole and you keep digging yourself in it.
Right.
You find a level point where you can build on it. And you keep, and that's what I'm saying, that whatever hope or whatever thing you felt like, then you look at the point to have and to hold. You know, to have something, you got to make sure you want to keep that the rest of your life. You know, you just don't want to say, you know, I just want to get married and not have a purpose why you get married. I mean, everybody have all their reasons.
Right.
When you marry somebody to just have sex, the bad thing.
Right.
I'm marrying for their money, the bad thing. I'm gonna tell you some things that's bad that I get married for.
Right.
You know, because you thinking that all that stuff is there to last, but it loses. What I tell people this so many times when I talk to people, mostly brothers, that you marry somebody that you love, right, whether they don't give you what you want, but they're helping you be who you want to be. My wife helps me in so many ways to be who God is leading me and what I want my own self, because I'm no saint when it comes to some things I want. That's some things that we all have that men can be very dogmatic to not letting her be who God made her to be. So you got to know, okay, that's the ground. That's what her nature is. And then you got to find out how to please her in the way that she'll come back and please you.
Right.
In many ways you just don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all talking about, I want my toes to stand up straight. But if you do it right and have the right motive and the right mindset, them toes can turn up.
Right.
Even the hair turn up, you know what I mean? But you got to understand, you got to know where you fit at. You can't base it on mother's marriage. You can't base it on Sally's marriage. You can't base it on Charlie down the road marriage. You can't base it on all these people. You have to base it on what you and the person that you marry.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Those are the points that you build life on.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you can build it and be, I'm telling you, we have been married for a while. And sometimes it do. I'm not just saying that, oh, you just saying that because you're on camera. Or you just saying that if I wasn't on camera.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's some things that we do in this house that just me and my wife is because we appreciate who God blessed us with. I don't take it for granted.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't take it for granted. You know, one day she might be here and she might be going tomorrow. Right. If I treat her the wrong way. You know what I mean? Don't, she ain't going nowhere. She going without the benefit going with this. But you can have the benefits too, and the benefit walk out.
Right.
You better bye-bye, you know what I mean? So you got to understand that to have and to hold, you got to know what you want.
Right.
You got to know why you're holding on to it.
That's right. Know what you got.
You know what I'm saying? If I know, not this, I'm going to tell you, these are facts. This is nothing what somebody told me. Why you have something that is beautiful, that you love to come home to every day. Then you go around the hoochie mama that don't do her hair,
Jesus.
don't take a bath, don't clean the house up.
No.
But you cannot deal with your wife that maybe she is not open up to you. Or maybe she's not doing what you want to do. But she do have the house clean. She do keep the kids clean. She do fix you a meal. Not every now and then, but every day. You come home and you know you're going home to a peaceful house, clean house, and food on the table. But yet you go to the hoochie mama because maybe the wife is not giving you that desire that you want. And you have never told her or opened up in that way. Right. You just hoping that she's going to have this thing from God, going to drop down on her lap and like, oh, he's dealing with this right now. Right. You need to ask these questions. But see, you got to go back and realize that I say this, and I'm not the. I said this Sunday, and I'll say this truthfully. There is no weak bone in my back. That's all solid. Right. You know what I mean? I have when it comes down to what I want and what I got to fight for and what I got to keep doing. Right. My wife gonna have to figure out if she got a weak back husband. No. And his back is weak and about to break. You know what I mean? None of that you got to worry about. Right. But I don't take the advantage that my wife is not like some other women's that, you know, tell our business all over everywhere. She's not a spokesperson that goes out. She is the first lady. I honor her for that. She does a whole lot behind the scenes. Excuse me, but I'm going to show you on a natural point that what you build, viscerally, it will work out later if you keep building it right. But if you build it wrong, that means you're going to cause some damage. Right. Even in my damage that I did to my wife, what happened is the key I said to her, and early in our marriage, I said one thing to her. I said, don't you never let me go. At that time, I didn't know what was going to happen. She didn't either. Right. But the Lord prepared me. So what she had she had something that she could hold on to. She had something that she could, you know what, although he acting crazy right now. All I want to go slap him in his head and get him back to his senses right now. Indeed. But she had something to hold on. It's not a whole lot. It was just one word I said to her. Way on in the beginning of our marriage, if I didn't build that, built that relationship with her in the beginning, then all through our marriage, it would have been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, because she had nothing to hold on to. I mean, I was just winging her on by a thread. I come on one day and I talk about we together. Now I talk about we ain't together. I'm talking about, okay, these my kids. They ain't my kids. This is I don't like you anymore. You know what I mean? She had nothing to hold on to, but she had something that she could reach back in and say, he said, give him time. You don't know when it's going to break, but don't give up on him.
Right.
So then her heart and her soul and her help from God had to give her peace, had to give her the mind to look past some things,
right,
and keep focused on things that she needs to focus on, and not let people get in her ears and really mess up the whole thing. And then that's why I can talk what I talk now. And some people say, well, man, don't talk all your business. I'm not going to tell you everything, but I'll tell you some things that it don't hurt us to talk about. You know what I mean? Some things we were scarred, but it don't hurt to share it to other people, to let them know we've been there.
Right.
We know what you're going through. We faced that. You know what I'm saying? We brought a family together, and we jailed together like God wanted to be.
Right.
Some people try to separate.
Right.
Some people try to separate us. You know what I mean? Tell, oh no, this, and that. No, but what was in my heart, I know my wife wasn't perfect. I know that. And she knew I wasn't perfect. So I didn't marry a perfect person.
Right.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, some things you don't need a rocket science to figure that out. That's just common sense. You know, there are people, we're human.
Right.
We are allowed to make a mistake. But in the mistake, you got to own up that you made the mistake, and you got to own up you have issues or problems with things. And you got to take some judgment, or you got to take some criticism. You got to take whatever you got to take. You got to take it.
That's right.
My wife was on me hard, judged me. She said, she cut up. She didn't criticize my name. I'm talking criticize and whooping me. Like, okay, why did you do that? And then after we got over it, she told me later on, I'm praying for these prayer cloths and these handkerchiefs and stuff for folk, and she taking my stuff and giving my medicine back to me. See, that's wrong. See, don't do it for a lady did, y'all. But she knew what can get me out of this. You know what I'm saying?
Prayer.
That's the only thing that kept me alive. She understood the value of what she had. Well, I understood the value in the beginning. That's why I went to her and asked her to marry me. I saw that. She didn't see it. She didn't know it. She said, I didn't know he wanted me like this. I mean, me. Yeah, you know, I was following her downtown, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, you gotta know what you want. Kill less what people talk about. Yes, to me, I could marry. I'm serious. I could have married anybody that I wanted. But I married who I wanted, and I knew what I needed. That's what I look at.
Right.
I didn't look at all the shapes and the hips and the pumps and the dupes and that. My wife got that too, man.
I got it.
She got that. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We talk about that on a cruise setting. But you got to know what you got. You got to know why you're holding on to it. You got to know why it makes you do what you do. You know, so that's the key. When you start looking at it, I'm looking for a red bone like this and all this with long hair and all that. Okay, you missing the wrong point.
Right.
Because you looking for all that glamour at that time. After a while, what's gonna happen? You get old, it's gonna start tearing. You know what I mean? The hair gonna start. It's gonna tear out like my hair back of my head. You know, I'm getting bald before my time. You know what I'm saying? So I might gotta come on one day and all my hair cut off. So she said, "Wait a minute, I didn't marry him. He had cut his hair. What happened to all that hair?" You know what I mean? So you gotta know what you get in, what you hold on to. Because if you don't know, these things come out later, and man, you be like, wow.
Gotta be more than outside.
Yeah, so you gotta look at the value that the person have in the heart and the ways they work and they're doing. And so this is what we had to build from the beginning. We didn't build it 10 years later. We built this in the beginning. And then, you know, like something like now, we both laugh at now, but then it wasn't funny. We both were saying, you know, we got married, all our teeth was in. They were all in. I came on one day, I don't care, I said, first lady, I got teeth coming out. And I had to show her that gap went like that. It was like this when we got married, it went like that. Right. But see, those things that you can't look at that person and say, Lord, God, I got to divorce you. Brother, I got to divorce you. We were together like this, and now you got a gap like that. But you got to understand, those things come along with marriage.
Yes.
They come along to make marriage happy. You know what I mean? Me and my wife can tell you about so many things that we look at each other and we laugh now. And we both, sometimes we cannot get out of bed. We both howling. She howling on one end, I'm howling on the other end. But you understand what we look at the beauty of it.
Right.
I want y'all to really look at the beauty. I want you to understand what it means to have and to hold. What people missing. You know what I mean? They're looking for the day they walk up down that aisle. It is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The dress, the tuxedo, the family, everybody come together. But then when you make those vows and you say those things, when it comes to reality, you have to remain the person that said, I do.
Remain faithful.
To everything. You know, not because the people, it's because what you both saw in each other.
Right.
No one else saw it. And we see this happen so many times when people say, I'm Bishop, I don't know if I can stay here, man. Man, I'm done. And I encourage them.
It seems like that, that's for sure.
It encouraged them because we both been there. We both been to the point where, you know, situations in our marriage have caused me to allow her to walk off. You know what I mean? I'm out. You have it. I make sure things taken care of. I'm gone. But she said to me one time, I'm married to you to have your hair. I'm not married. You be across town. You get rid of that. Get that out your head. Get that out your thinking. No, we ain't doing this. But, you know, that's the part you got to realize. If it comes there, you got to know why you're holding on to it. You got to know why you're important to bring something together. So I'm hoping tonight that we are bringing something to you to realize their importance. I said a whole lot, and I've got you to think.
Right.
That these things make us. No, money don't make you.
No.
The clothes that wear don't make you. What makes a strong relationship is you gotta have an open mindset. You gotta have that open communication.
Right.
Whether you know it's gonna hurt, whether you don't know how to say it. You know what I mean? You gotta find some way to talk and give her the insurance. You know what I mean? I've been married my wife a while. You know, she told me Saturday because she couldn't get me on the phone. And she didn't know what it said. She said she's going to come find me. I didn't show her I am not with another woman. I'm out here doing what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to show you she's human. She's no robot. She have that opportunity because she don't know somebody could drop, you know, butt naked in front of Bishop. And talking about, oh, my husband, he ain't going to bow down to that. But see, that's temptation. And the Bible said, tempt not the Lord thy God. He didn't say Bishop Foster now. He said the Lord now. So y'all got to understand, when you get tempted, don't put yourself in this situation.
That's right.
I got to get up out of here. I'm going to talk about, oh, let me pray for you, sister. Well, no. Because she knows I am a husband that she can trust. But her key, and y'all can't trust other folks that got that sneaky thing in their mind. You know what I'm saying? Amen. Got it back in the corner and want to, you know, hide things. Right. So that was the thing that we got to be careful how we indulge in things like that. Not that your spouse don't trust you, whoever it is, man or female, like you said. You know, I mean, you got to. I'm gonna say this to you on her part. And she tell me that, oh, baby, I was in the store. This man came up to me and said, "Oh, you look good. You look good." So that thought come in my head, like, yeah, you did. You told me, and you told him you mad. But how did I know you said that? You know, but you got it. There you go. You trust. That's where the trust comes in. But it should make you feel good that somebody is spying off of the people that you married to. Those are the ones got to know how to put it in respectful place. Right. Like some people say, "Bitch, you look good." Then thank you. I know I look good. You ain't got to tell me that one. Tell me something else I don't know. But those things you keep in respectful place. You don't let it go to your head. Right. Like my wife and tell me I look good. I don't know. You know, don't do that. Or some things that you create more damage when you're trying to find an answer, which you can't find sometimes. Right. Sometimes you got to go with the flow and deal with it. And say one day it's going to pass. And it will pass. We telling you. We dealt with it about 3 or 4 years, maybe longer, but it passed. And when it passed, me and my girl is good. We good.
Thank the Lord.
We are great. She get on my nerves sometimes saying, but I love her, you know what I'm saying? But we are good. I'm only saying that to let you know life is what you make it. Yes, it is. We court every Sunday morning. we still court. We still go out.
Mhm.
We still have our breakfast. We still
Mhm.
find time
Mhm.
that we spend with each other. We
Right.
still get in the car. You know what I mean? The other night she told me I'm coming home and it's dark. Talking about I want some ice cream. I said, okay, why you tell me? I try to tell you, but you want to answer your phone. I send you a tip and you didn't answer the tip. So you got to take me go get some ice cream.
Yes.
But I said, you better come on now because if I get out this truck, brother ain't coming back down here. But the thing was,
I'm on my way.
we made it to where we both understood.
Mhm.
And then I ain't got to say, and she ain't got to say, well, when I asked him to do something, he always talking about he's tired. I asked her to do something, she always talking about she got something to do. But you find ways and not bring the issue to a point where you already know it's going up.
Right.
You already know you got issues with it.
Mhm.
Why would you sell on that and talk about that? Leave that alone. It's okay. It takes two people to argue.
That's right.
I love you. I'll be back. And then find a way you can. I'm telling you, many times we never had an argument where me and my wife got to the point where we about to go in the kitchen, get the nice butcher knife, cut each other's throats. We never got that far.
Right.
But we got into where it did get heated. I learned to do this, and she did too. She's okay. All right, boo. I'll talk to you later. She's okay. And I do the same thing. Then we understand. Get the moment.
Cool off time.
Yep. Get the moment. Come back.
Put in the refrigerator.
And both of us said we sorry. Or, I didn't know you. I didn't understand what you were saying at the time. I didn't know what you were doing. But this is the way I don't like. You know me. You know what I'm saying? And it's squash. You don't keep bringing it up every day, every hour. You remember that thing you said? And then that keeps that wound keep open. You closed it. Y'all both sealed it. You put love on it. And you keep building. You keep building. You keep building. We learned how to keep building on relationship that we started a long time ago. Right. Because I told her when the kids grow up, it's going to just me and you, baby. Yeah. And we got to learn how to love each other after all the kids. Some of y'all married the kids, then you married your wife or husband. You know what I mean? When they leave, you're like, I'm lost. I'm lost. What we going to do now? What? I was trying to help my babies leave that house. So me and her can have our house. Right. Y'all catch that real quick? You got to learn how to love them. I love all my kids. I do anything for my kids. They know that. I ain't saying in the back closet. That's their dad. Right. I do that. But I knew that I need time with who I married. And I knew that when after my babies grow up, they all get the husband, the wives, the kids. Yep. We had learned how to, even when they come over the house now, we know that, okay, you got to go back. You can be here for a while, but you got to go back. Right. You deal with that. You understand how to let them go forward and be who they are. So tonight, for they to get ready to come and give you her part of half and to whole. And what points that we can both lean on it. We're going to be on this for a while. We got a whole lot to talk about. A whole lot. You know what I mean? We got... You got something too. We got business. We got church. We got personal things. And we want to share that on this airs. We appreciate everybody giving thumbs up. Everybody showing love. And your comments. We're learning that what we done, we got to be faithful to what God has given us. That we keep helping ministry. Right. Again, she is the backbone of everything I do because she makes sure the back end is right. So when the front comes and looks, you're like, wow, that's look good. But people don't give credit where credit due. They if it had not been for me, if it had not done this would never been like this. No, if it had not been for who God gave you and y'all working together, it becomes two. Have become one. That's right. And you build on that. She got strong points. I got strong points. She got weak points. I got weak points. That's so we find out how to help each other in strong points and the weak points. That's right. And then we help each other. We don't embarrass each other. Right. And call somebody else. You know what I mean? And say, hey, can you help me do this? Because my wife can't help me do this. Or she calls somebody and say, can you help me do this? Because my husband don't want to do this. No. You find those strong points and you build on those things. That's right. You find the strength, you find the ability, and then you learn how to keep growing and you learn how to keep getting. That's right. And things start happening. So come on, first lady. I got them sight now.
All right.
I got them laughing. I told them some silly stuff that happened to in our lives.
Right. Well, as you coming on, when Bishop was saying how, we have to learn how to compensate for one another. Like he said, one of us has strengths in one area and the other one has a weakness maybe in that area. But we learn to work together. We don't, a woman or a man, whatever, your husband or your wife, we should never do anything to discredit each other. We're here to build one another. We didn't come into the marriage with everything all intact. We were half of a whole. And so my half and his half together makes a whole heart. And because of that, we take care of one another and make sure that where something is lacking, my husband takes up. Now I'm going to tell you, most of us ladies don't like mice, and I'm not kidding. I don't. So if I see one, I'm somewhere calling him. I had a funny situation a couple weeks ago. I saw one and my husband was out working, and I happened to call him to let him know what was going on. And he was with one of our bishop friends. I won't mention any names, but I knew that he was somewhere in the background laughing. And I got on him and he started laughing really. But it's because of that. These are things that sometimes we take for granted. We take each other for granted. There's things that we as women do, the wives do, that make our husbands' lives easier and our children's lives easier. And then there are lots of things that our husbands do that make our lives easier. And we take it for granted because we have it. It's there. And sometimes taking things for granted will cause other people to at some time walk in another direction. So I want to tell you, don't take your lovers, your husbands, your wives, your partners in life, don't take them for granted. Be thankful for everything you have, because there are some people that don't have it. A single person would love for somebody to get out and pump the gas for them. But you have somebody that will pump the gas for you. Or not that you can't do it, but it's nice to have a husband that appreciates you and treats you like a lady and says, I got the door, or I'll pump the gas. Whatever my part is, I might go in and pay for the gas. Yeah. But my husband is out waiting at the pump to pump it. So I don't have to worry about that. Those things that we think about each other, those things we know about one another, those snacks that each other likes. When you're in the store, just remembering your husband or your wife and saying, oh, I know she likes this. I know she likes that. Or I know he likes this. Or he asked about that. I know he needs this. Making sure that what they need and what they have is there without them even asking for it is a way of showing that I appreciate you. So when we're talking about having and holding, one of the things that stuck out with me, I had this dream. And sometimes when I have dreams, I have things repeatedly. And when I have repeated dreams, they bother me. I'm trying to figure out why I'm dreaming them. And the last time that I most recently had it, then the Lord gave me this thought to have and to hold. A lot of us, as Bishop was saying, we talk about getting married. We're excited about the wedding day. We're excited about all our dresses and the maids of honors and the groomsmen, all the things that go along with making a marriage day. It's special that it is a good memory that we always remember and take with us until the end of time. But what we don't think about and don't realize is really take for granted or face value those words that we say. And a lot of times I hear people after they get married that they're talking about situations when life happens. Okay, when life happens, you get beyond the retreat away for that week or whatever, those couple of days, and then you have to go back into real life where you have work and you have to make ends meet, and a lot of times there's not enough money. Maybe the food might be low. All kinds of things happen within a family or relationship. And if we don't know how to deal with them in the right way, they can break us apart. And what stuck out to me most of all in the dream was that I was seeing where people were like taking the spouses, okay, taking maybe your husband, all right, and giving him to somebody else. Or taking the wife and putting them with somebody else. And a lot of times, and the reason I'm saying that is because what we don't realize is that we don't appreciate what we have. And a lot of times we're so much looking at the problems or the things that that just don't seem to be going right. And they're not all the time, they're minimal. They're not even really big things. But a lot of times we take these little molehills and turn them into big mountains. And so what I want to purpose or put out before you tonight is to really think about the vows that we took of to have and to hold. And what happens a lot of times, ladies, men, we get married. We couldn't wait to get married. We couldn't keep our hands off one another before you got married. But now you got married, you hardly ever touch one another. What happened to having and holding after you got married? We got to that time that once you got married, this man is now yours. This woman is now yours. So now we have to be really instrumental in keeping those fires burning and making sure that we are taking them where we can have them.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
You can have him or her whenever you want because that is your spouse and you can hold them. What would happen if that man or that woman was gone all of a sudden? What would happen if you lost your husband? What would happen if you lost your wife and you didn't have or hold them as much as you could while they're here? We're so much wanting these relationships before they come. But then when they get here, we forget about all that stuff we dreamed about. We forget about all those things that we used to think about. We're going to go on walks together. We're going to go to the movies together. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. But then we start arguing about bills and we start fighting about the kids and all kinds of crazy things instead of having and holding, taking that time to understand and to relate to one another and figure out what we need to do to build our relationship. We turn cold. We turn away from one another. And the Bible said it's not good for man to be alone. Any more than it's not good for him to be alone. Women don't like to be alone either. But when we open the door to the devil by not, being together like we're supposed to be, we open the door for other things to come in. And you can't get upset when something else come in and you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. All right. So what I mean is not always just sexually, but I'm talking about learning how to interact with one another, learning how to communicate. My husband and I have had conversations, and many couples need to do this because there's a book out that says men are from Mars and women are from Venus. That means we're different. All right. And so maybe my love walk is totally different than my husband. The way he expresses love is different than the way I would express love. What I'm doing is showing him love, but he may not see it that way just yet. But the more we talk to one another, and I'm encouraging you to do so, the more that you talk to your wife or your husband and explain to them, this is how I am showing love, or to teach them your way of showing love, or maybe even be vulnerable about the things that have happened in your life, even as a child, because this is a partnership. This is a relationship where we learn to dialogue back and forth and talk about each other's inadequacies, each other's insecurities. And we have to be, ladies, we have to be where we can hold what our husbands are telling us. Because men have been told that they have to be strong and they can't let you see what's really going on within them. They have to look strong, even though a lot of times that little boy is still in there. But we have to let them know that they're safe to share with us what is going on in their hearts, and to sometimes maybe they might shed a tear, but that's between you and him. That's where we let them know that they are safe. The husband, you have to do the same. You have to be willing to listen to your wife. Women like to talk. That's how we communicate. We're not always looking for you to solve the problem, even though we know that that's what men try to do. They try to solve the problems. But sometimes we just need you to hug us. Sometimes we just need you to listen.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just need you to, allow us to express what's going on. And more so than anything, not taking advantage or each other for granted. You have the right to have and to hold your spouse. You have the right to be intimate with that person in every way that you two choose. But don't allow the enemy to come in the midst of your marriage through outside forces. I'm going to say that again, outside forces, because sometimes we open the door to outside forces. We start taking in information and advice from people who don't even have solid relationships themselves, but yet we choose to listen to them. We choose to share with them what is going on. And then when you do, even sometimes family, you can't share everything with family because they don't understand what you're going through. All right. And we, at the moment, usually when we do start sharing and talking, we're angry. All right. But if we do what the Bible says, be angry and sin not, we calm down, like Bishop was talking about, we go put whatever is going on, we put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down a little bit. And then we come back and talk about it. Then the only people that know what was really happening is you and I, you and he, and other people are not involved. And because when you bring other people involved in the situation, you get over it, but they can't. Especially if it's family, especially if it's people that love you, they won't necessarily see what's actually happening and understand. Some of them can, but the majority of them cannot. And a lot of times what that does is cause your relationship, your marriage to demise. Some of you ladies are talking to women who aren't even married. You know, you're communicating about your spouse to people who they're not married. They cannot tell you or give you advice in a situation where they are not. You know, they're not walking. You're in a whole different category. When you get married, men, women, you can't communicate and with all single people anymore. You can't even communicate with all married people because there are some people who see what you got and look at what you have, and they'll listen, of course, but their motives are wrong. And before you know it, you've got a problem in your marriage. So we have to be very, very, very careful about what we have going on and not take it for granted. Hold on to each other. You have that right to have it to hold. Don't let your love life be cold. Keep it burning, keep it open, and share with one another what you need. We've had conversations sometimes about things that, you know, as couples that my husband needs to share with me, and I've had to share with him, but they've helped me, you know. And when we have those intimate conversations, ladies, gentlemen, when we have them, we got to take our feelings off of our shoulders. Because a lot of times we take these things and we hear them, and then we get on the defensive. But we got to listen and not be offended by what's being said, and really try to understand each other, because what we're doing is trying to build what we have. And if we can talk to each other in a way and allow each other to be on an even playing field to share what's on our hearts, then that having and holding becomes stronger, because now I'm understanding what he or she needs, and I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to learn what I need to learn. I'm willing to change what I need to change if I need to, as long as it's not me doing something illegal. I'm willing to do it because I love this man or I love this woman, and I'm willing to put aside my feelings to become better. And that's what we have to do. When we say for better or for worse, we do go through some better and worse situations, but through them, what makes a strong marriage, what allows us to have and hold each other for the duration, is us surviving the storms. We can't run every time that there's a storm. We can't open the door every time there's a storm and tell everybody in the world, because it's just not healthy. You know, and you will go through those tests and trials and learning how to do and what to do. And you're going to make mistakes, because we did too. Mistakes they happen. But when you love somebody and you can see beyond their faults, just like God does us, he looks beyond all of our faults and he knows what we need. So at those times when you see your spouse who might be going through a moment at that time, you look beyond the faults that you see and you begin to see what they need at the time. And it might just be prayer. I need to pray for him. I need to pray for him. And so you want to pray with a pure heart. It might be, you know, if you ask God, he will give you wisdom on what to do, what to say, know when to hold him and know when to fold him. And sometimes y'all, Kenny Rogers used to sing that you got to know what to do. You need to know when to walk away and you need to know when to run. You know, so you do have to know when to have those conversations and when it's time to just be quiet for a minute. Give them a moment, you know, to get it together. Everybody take a moment. Because we didn't enter into these marriages to just join in, to have fun for a moment and get out. We got into them to have and to hold from this day forward. And that's the main part that I want to really encourage you and that are out there listening to us, is not allow your love lives and your relationship to go cold, and not allow silly things to infiltrate and cause you to move away from one another, because each of you need that intimacy. Each of you need that from one another. And a lot of times we don't know what each person needs, but if we open our hearts and our minds to one another and be real and tell each other, even though that woman might be trying to do something to please her husband, but he needs something more or something else, if you open up and tell her, if she loves you, she's going to figure out how to do that. And vice versa. The man should want to do the same thing for his wife. If she desires something from him, maybe he's not used to doing it, but he can learn what to do to make that marriage stronger, because we're in it to hold and to have forever. We're in this marriage. We're in these relationships for the duration. You know, we often talk to people as we are, giving advice. If we have the opportunity before people get married, we try to help them see, maybe some pitfalls that may already be present, and it's totally up to them whether they choose to accept the advice we give or not. We don't beat them over the side of the head afterwards, but we do try to help make those things evident. If we see them, we know, as my husband has mentioned, blending a family. We know quite a few people who have blending families, and it's not always easy, because you got your husband and your wife that are different. You got children that are different from different situations that have been through different things, and it takes God. It takes the God, patience, and love for one another to work through all of those things. But it can be done. It can be done. So you got to be honest with one another, be respectful of one another, and talk. Most of all, talk, communicate. If you're in a blended family, let me throw this at you. You got somebody else from the past, husbands, wives, be honest with one another. Be honest with one another and make sure that you do things in front of each other, because your past will always try to catch you up. And if you don't handle things right, you will find yourself falling in a trap. So you got to keep things open. You keep that respect, and you let that other individual know, my wife or my husband is a very important part of my life, and whatever I'm doing, they're a part of. So they're going to know what's happening, So you be open. If you do that, it not only builds the relationship that you have currently, but it also can build the other. It'll help that person to move on and do what they're going to do in their life, but also respect the choices that you have made. And sometimes it's our lack of stepping out and putting those things in order that cause us to have that unrest in situations. But I guarantee you, if you make those steps and begin to do the right things and keep your loved one always a part of whatever that you're doing, you will find that things will go a lot smoother as you have and hold till death do you part.
Thank you, First Lady. It's always good to know what you have. It's always, you got to know from the door. When you make that decisions, you got to know. You can't say, well, I'm going to fix this down in the marriage and it'll come out. No, there are things that need to be talked about and dealt with in the beginning. And then you'll find out later how to work with some things, how to handle it. Because when you understand to say you do, you have to realize that it's not going to be great
all the time
or be wonderful. You have to remember that if it do falls or go to the left or the right, you got to know the purpose of why you got married with your spouse or husband. And then when you realize that, whatever comes, you always can bring it back. I married you because I like your smile, or I love you for this, or I like what you did. This what attracted me to you. You know what I'm saying? You find those things.
That's right.
because they're there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm telling you, from young, old, middle class, we are dealing with so many people in marriage.
Right.
And it's sad that people don't realize that it is an honor from God, but it appreciates to be an honor for you that when you do it the right way.
Right.
And some people say, what is the right way? Well, let me say this, and we get ready to go because our time is almost at our end.
Mm-hmm.
We always give you that hour of pumping, destruction, leading, and guiding.
Right.
Is our very important reason why we do on Monday Live. We give you the opportunity to look at where you're at,
right,
and look at where you're going. Mm-hmm. And you make the decision. Well, this ain't for me. What if it ain't for you is for somebody in your family,
right,
or somebody you're close to that are having marital problems and don't know where to find a solution. Mm-hmm. We give you real facts.
That's right.
Of things that we can tell you, if you do it right, it can last. It can last not for 2 years or 3. Mm-hmm. It can last for a long time and still be happy.
That's right.
Still be happy.
Supposed to be.
You know what I mean? Not mad, mm-hmm. not angry, and not frustrated.
Right.
So we appreciate your time. We're getting ready to go. Mm-hmm. Our time has come near, as they say. Mm-hmm. And we enjoy you always. We'll be back if the Lord give us and bless us and tarry us. Lord Jesus. Monday. I'm really working on. We got a lot of things that we have been doing in business, right. and in church, and in personal life that calls us. This is our destiny. Mm-hmm. This is the plan that God gave us, and we take out every moment to make sure we bring good information to you.
Right.
This is what this broadcast is for. This is what the ministry is supposed to be doing. We never lost our focus. One person, one church, and one community is what we try to reach. We try to meet that goal. And we thank God for you that watches us, supporting us, right. Paying into our ministries.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We thank you for and I'm gonna give a shout out because it's been a while. Mm-hmm. I appreciate y'all to New Hope, Bishop Holland and Lady Holland. They come on every Sunday at 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of people have watched them on our TV network.
Yes,
and it's very appreciative of what they're doing. Mm-hmm. On Thursday, we finally got our children channel. Mm-hmm. That's what you would call it, the kids channel. Mm-hmm. And we finding things that will meet our kids. Mm-hmm. So that comes on every Thursday. Kingdom Kids is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And guess what? They're aired through the Power of God Broadcast TV network. Mm-hmm. And they come on every Thursday at 5. Mm-hmm. So God is growing us to a point that we're going to do what he called us to do. That's right. And we are blessing people by sharing the gospel, by sharing love, mm-hmm. by giving people support. Mm-hmm. And we ask more that watches us, come on.
Join us.
Mm-hmm. We have other churches that are already have their application in.
Yes.
They soon will be coming out with their ministry.
Yes.
We're going to let you know. Just stay tuned.
That's right.
I mean? Don't quit watching. Mm-hmm. Don't quit supporting.
Right.
Don't keep sharing. Mm-hmm. We are doing what God calls us to do. This question asked to me, is it where you wanted to be at? Not yet, but it's going.
You got to keep working.
Have it fall back to when you started? No. We have really grown.
Yes.
We're really leaping to where we are really as some people say, test the waters. We're testing these waters, you know what I mean? And there's some good things coming out since we have done this. Yes. You know what I mean? We're getting good testimonies back.
Right.
We're getting good things happening. We're getting people to sign up. I mean, I forgot to share that with you. Somebody saw me on the TV network about Let's Build Wealth. We have people now came on part of that because of what we're doing.
That's right.
You know what I mean? That all in a while of dreams that are coming together. So keep watching. There'll never be a dull moment.
Right.
When you think it's dull, that's when things will start coming out and say, wow,
Right.
you know, it's good. So we know we always end in a prayer. Thank you again. I pray us off this Monday Live with Bishop and Lady Foster. We're talking about the importance on having and to hold, and knowing why you want to hold on to your spouse. Know why you want to keep that one close to you.
Right.
And we hope that we say something to you tonight.
Amen.
Encourage somebody to come back on Monday.
Yes.
At 6:30. And we're going to talk more about having to hold. Let's pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you again for every watcher. We thank you for every listener. Thank you for everyone that tuned in, sharing it, and embracing what we have given. Yes. I pray that the families, the husband and the wife, will be more tended to what they have in their household. And they will spend more time understanding how to work it together. Understand why the importance to hold their husband, hold their wife, brace each other, comfort each other, and help each other. And so, God, we say tonight, bless them and keep them in perfect peace. Yes. That they will be able to grow their marriage. They'll be able to grow their life and do what you have them to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, much love. Thanksgiving is coming on tomorrow. Thursday, excuse me. I'm going to get my days mixed up. But understand, enjoy Thanksgiving, enjoy the family. Encourage each other to stay together. Don't separate, but stay together.
And tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. for The Power to Get Wealth with Bishop Wayne Foster. You all have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. God bless.
Thank you.